Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
I'm John, and this is Lily. And welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies, both new and old, with a strictly positive critical eye.
Lily is a Zoom dog that's living with John. It's not an alter ego or a puppet, just so everybody's clear about that. Yeah, we're a drinking game. That's what we are. We anytime we
Okay, I was like,
anytime we say anything anytime we say anything negative about a film or each other or
We're
Lily,
drinking.
you're gonna hear this sound. And that sound means that we have decided to take a drink, and we hope that you drink along with us at home.
So pour yourselves a glass and get ready to see if Tom Holland can do anything but Spider-Man.
hey.
Why is he doing another franchise right after this? It is very curious. People were talking about
Because
Uncharted.
his team at CAA was like, fuck, no, we're not taking independent films anymore. This guy's a movie star.
Yeah.
He did a couple though. He did Cherry. He did some Netflix.
Yeah,
And they
he
were
did
like,
some things.
never again. They were like, no.
He
no,
played
we're getting
one.
paid, motherfucker.
Was it Cherry that he was a vet and people were like, bro,
Yeah.
you're still 12. You're not
Yeah.
a vet. Get in Uncharted.
And it's
Let's
not
go.
Tom. You're a great actor. It's not because of the work, dude. It's just because you are at a fucking A-list status where
You
you,
do it.
whether you like it or not, dude. You are the new RDJ.
Also, I'm pretty sure all of the Marvel contracts now are like, we are not going to let you make Robert Downey Jr. money. We are not going to let it happen. So I'm sure he's fine, but like I'm for sure the first Spider-Man or two, like he was not getting the Iron Man money.
No, of course.
Now he is. So this is Uncharted, people. This is based on the video game series that I think came out in 2014 by the company that has a really fun name, Naughty Dog.
Naughty
Dogs.
Nice.
Naughty
Which is
Dog's
no
video game
reflection
series
on
of
the
same
dog
name.
that John has in his house right now.
Ironically
really?
enough, the movie Dog
She's a good
came
girl.
in second place at the box office this week, but of course Uncharted won with $44 million on the 4-day
God
weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, but then a lot overseas. It's already covered its $120 million budget worldwide. It's gonna double, triple that. They're gonna turn this into a franchise, just like the video
Which
games.
is really funny because it's
Wow.
got a 39 critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and an 90 critic audience score.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
yeah, critics.
Critics are never gonna understand.
Critics is why we
that-
created this podcast, to be honest. So
When movies know they're kind of stupid, that's okay.
Except
Like
for
if you
Moonfall.
can't as
I disagree.
you can't as a critic say, like, at least the movie, you can't as a critic say this movie's kind of stupid. It's like, yeah, we know the movie told us it was kind of stupid. Can we just have some fucking fun, please? Because apparently the audience has a 90% audience score on Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes. What does the Power of Dog have, right? Oscars. So we're talking about
I
Uncharted.
don't know
This
what
just
you're
came
saying
out.
right now. Jeff goes down early.
12
wanna-
Oscar nominations.
I
or
just
Actually,
second
something.
recorded
while we're
tonight.
talking Oscars, I just want a brief interlude. Oscars have introduced this fan favorite shit.
Did they actually introduce
Oh,
it?
They
yeah, I
did.
forgot.
They introduced it. You can vote for it now. Currently, the front runner by a huge margin is Cinderella, the Amazon musical that came out recently. That is
Oh no.
fucking weird and abysmal. Like,
Are we going to start a campaign on this episode right now for our fan favorite?
See, they need to do what
you can
what
vote
the
up to
NBA
20
does.
times a day. Vote for anything but Cinderella, for God's sake. It's like, watch it first. By all means, judge for yourself. But like,
Honestly, just fucking
How
vote
could
for
it not
Cinderella
be
because the Oscars,
Spider-Man?
when the Oscars,
I know.
the past 2 years they just haven't been doing a good job. The Oscars.
I think
Best
they've,
a couple years
to
ago.
be honest, I think they've realized the error of their ways, because I can't imagine that this thing got to the front runner and nobody's fucking with them. So it's like I'm sure
it does
people
feel like
are
there's-
going, hey, I want to see Cinderella.
I remember.
Like, put
I'll
up
never
there.
forget. I'll never forget. I know this sounds whatever for our audience, most likely, but American Idol season 3, they had this guy John Stevens who was 16 from Long Island, and he, your grandparents would like him, but he's not. He wasn't better than Jennifer Hudson. And Howard Stern made people vote for this guy, and he beat Jennifer Hudson at a singing
Which
contest.
is just, I know. Yeah.
So no offense to John Stevens if you're listening, but you're not. But like, why Cinderella's the weirdest choice? Like, there has to be some kind of weird campaign for this. But the Oscars fucked up big time. How do you not have Tony Leung? How do you not have Jodie Comer in there? How did these movies that you know are? It doesn't matter.
And the fan favorite thing, it's like that seems like a grasp. to me.
Do the NBA thing and let the fans be a percentage of the vote, but don't let them have 100%
That's the thing.
of the
if
vote.
If they like whatever gets the vote doesn't even get an Oscar, it just gets a mention on the show.
Stupid. You know what else gets a mention on the show? Whatever studio's paying, whatever the fuck. Like Tom Holland and Zendaya, why aren't they hosting? They're probably going to present, and you know what? People are going to want to see Uncharted more than they're going to want to see these fucking movies that are not. And we liked a lot of them. So we're talking about Uncharted, people. This movie came out.
John's garbage truck has just turned up.
Fucking Dom and the gang just drove by my house.
F-18 buzzing John's house.
Yeah, honestly,
Top Gun is filming outside your house right now.
Jesus Christ.
All right, let's get into this here. So we're talking about Uncharted, this movie that just came out. I saw it in Dolby Digital, which I highly recommend if you are able to.
I went IMAX.
This is directed.
Damn it.
This is directed by Ruben Fleischer.
Fleischer,
who has directed 30 things, including Zombieland and Venom and Gangster Squad and a whole bunch of TV shows. Funny or Die Presents. The guy's done comedy, he's done action, he knows his stuff. Ruben Fleischer. You also have writers Rafe Judkins, Art Markham, and Matt Holloway. 3 writers for this. This is based on...
At least one of those is probably from the story from the game.
It says screenplay. I don't see story. Oh, and then the screenplay story was by Rafe Judkins. Anyway, I don't know the logistics behind that. This stars Tom. Did we shout our people out? Did we shout our sponsors out?
We didn't. We skipped it completely.
John, you want to shout that out really quick before I get back to this?
We have a beer sponsor. His name is Carlos Barroso. You can follow him at cbarroso.beer. That is CBAROZOBAR.BER.
Yeah, go quick. We haven't seen that beer in a while, so you can go really quick through this.
The music on this episode is provided by the artist Dasein. That's Dasein, Dasein. You can follow them at soundcloud.com/Dasein-artist. Download all the music for free. We're back.
So,
Actually,
Tom
Jeff,
Holland.
you should come over here and we'll take Carlos out for a beer.
We'll take him out for a beer?
Yeah.
I want some Carlos.
Actually, we should do that. That'd be great. Okay, hold on. So this movie, directed by Ruben Fleischer, stars Tom Holland. You may have heard of him from Spider-Man or Billy Elliot the Musical, or one of the best lip syncs of all time. Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg. What the fuck? It's just straight truth. He did Rihanna, man. It was great.
Jimmy Fallon. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was on the lip sync battle.
No, I remember that. I'll drink for mistakenly buzzing you. Yes, I thought
lip sync battle. It was
that.
really wild.
It was amazing.
Really good.
Yes,
it was really great.
Look it up on YouTube. Tom Holland lip sync battle. It's fucking amazing. Sorry, Jeff.
Sometimes you got to keep your skills fresh. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, I can dance. I don't want to lose it, so I'm going to do lip sync battle, and it was great. He did Umbrella and he had Real Rain. It was wild.
Yeah.
Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg played Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan, respectively. Antonio Banderas, get in there, playing Santiago Moncado. You have Sophia Ali. You have Tati Gabrielle. You have anybody else that our listeners would know? No, but some guy from Outer Banks, the TV show, which I saw.
Antonio Banderas is playing a lot of villains these days. Is he okay?
I believe he can drive to work from home and sleep with, wherever he wants at night. And
just
pretty
checking.
great.
He was so good at Pain and
If you're not
Glory
okay, man, leave a message on our YouTube.
Pain and Glory, yeah. Shout out Pain and Glory. There you go,
so
Dave.
Yeah.
So Uncharted, this movie's, we're going to stay spoiler free for a couple minutes here, but the quick pitch here I'm reading the IMDb blurb for all of our cinephiles online here. Street smart Nathan Drake. That's
Street
Tom Holland.
Smart. That's so good. Street Smart.
Is recruited by seasoned treasure hunter Victor Sullivan to recover a fortune amassed by Ferdinand Magellan and lost 500 years ago by the House of Moncada. That is right. This is Uncharted, the film.
Jesus.
By the way, I know we're spoiler free here, but I don't know how the boats fit. I don't know how they got in there. Just something to think about for the end of the episode.
I was thinking about that in
Let's
real
go
time.
ahead and just get our initial reaction. This is a 47 Metascore.
Dude, nobody picked apart the fucking Goonies. Don't pick this apart.
Touche. This has a 47 Metascore, a 40 on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 90% audience score. It's doing very well, and they're definitely trying to franchise this. Who would like to go first with their initial takes?
I mean, I'll take it. I mean, do you want to take it, John? Do you want to take it?
John
You just saw it.
Just got
You
home from
just
this
saw
movie.
it.
I just saw it and I had a lot of fun. Who doesn't like a fucking puzzle piece treasure kind of movie? Like, come on, these are so much fun. I love these adventure movies, right? Tom Holland is very charming. Mark Wahlberg doesn't usually play this kind of he's usually the one under some kind of stress or duress, and so it was fun kind of seeing him be kind of the person you're not supposed to entirely trust, but he is kind of that teacher role a little bit. That was really fun. And I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gamer. So there were a few things that, like, special effects wise with the physics that you have to they taught you very early on. The opening sequence is ridiculous. And like from the very first, 2 minutes of this movie, you kind of are like, okay, I have to be okay with the fact that things like that are going to happen in the stunts. And as soon as you put that baseball cap on and you say yes, you're going to have a great time.
It's like you set that up at the beginning, Moonfall.
They did the right thing.
Sorry, I'll get past it in a minute.
God, he's still not past it. I thought it was appropriately cheesy, shamelessly adventurous, and about as shallow as it needed to be for it to maintain like this exact bullseye of you. They do not want you to take this too serious. They were not trying to go too dramatic.
Everybody looked like they were having fun on this.
Yeah, it was just like everyone. Guys, I heard this recently, which I thought was really, really telling. One of my teachers last semester was saying, "What's the difference between quest and adventure?" And we all went around the room just kind of be like, "Oh, what the fuck," And eventually,
film school sounds really fun for $50,000 a year.
You know what? This is good though. This is good. I bet you couldn't answer this fucking question. What's the difference? And I thought this was a good answer. Of course it might not be the only one, but one point he made was that in a quest, your characters are different by the end of it. In an adventure, they're the same fucking person that they were in the beginning. And that's why they're so much fun and easy to watch. It takes a little bit more of you to watch Lord of the Rings. It takes more of you as an audience member to go in for the quest, because you're going to have to go on a giant emotional journey. Not with this. You do not have to. Right? This is pure. This is purely charming.
The most minimal emotional journey possible for this.
I mean, honestly, and you just got to get ready to watch fucking pirate ships flying in the sky on helicopters. I mean, there's so many fun, ridiculous things. Tom Holland's character
dock the first fucking boat before you tell. Anyway, sorry, no spoilers. Yeah, keep going.
Tom Holland's character has just enough exposition. Honestly, I imagine playing the video game. So I kind of was having fun just imagining how they would set these up with the little scenes in between the video game things.
This diverts a lot, actually, from what I've heard.
All right, well, it's story-wise, I'm glad it is. But like, I felt like they did a good job of giving you just enough of this, like, kind of, we have to put it in here so you can come on this ride with us kind of exposition.
There was a little bit of game service there.
Yeah, once you got it though, you're like, all right, let's go solve a puzzle. Let's follow clues. And that's all I fucking care about from a fucking treasure hunt movie. This is, I really enjoy these kinds of things. So I will definitely watch the next one. I'll rewatch this one.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I will say this, guys. We did our Valentine's Day over the weekend because I couldn't do it last Monday or last weekend. I had tickets. We were going to see it in Dolby, and we got fucked by our restaurant. We didn't make it in time, so I was only able to see it today in a regular format. And the whole time I was sitting there thinking, God damn it, this would have sounded awesome in a bigger format. And I bet it did.
Did you have to pay for the tickets both times?
I did. Well, one of them, because I'm A-list. So not too bad with the money-wise, but I was very aware that the music, the dialogue sounded okay coming out of the front two speakers. The music was just not very full. I only had 4 speakers around me, and it just wasn't great. But how was it in the big format?
Did you see that at?
So in the tiniest theater AMC had available.
Oh, no.
The one I went to. I know it was a really, really small theater, but whatever. I still had fun. But was it amazing in the big formats?
That's great that you still had fun at that level. Like, I saw this in IMAX, and it was fucking amazing. Like, the sound was flying everywhere. They used the IMAX format to good advantage. I mean, this was formatted for IMAX, not filmed in IMAX, obviously, because that's a thing now.
Okay.
But this is like, I would make this, like, compare this National Treasure meets Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
like it's a mashup of those two. It is like a
pinch of the Pirates.
It is like a pinch. It's like a well-crafted heist film where literally everybody is out to double cross everyone else.
Disney just has. Can you imagine walking into the room and pitching that? Just dollar signs for eyes, like cartoons. They just start.
But it's like everyone's double crossing everyone. Not only does it entertain, it may give you serious trust issues. when you come out of this
Yeah, they
movie
did-
because, like, holy fuck, there's like the double cross, the triple cross. It's perfect. It's Ocean 11 doesn't have this much double cross in it.
You're right. Yeah, let's give it up where it's due. That was fun.
Yeah.
They did that with the
That
drama.
was-
Drama might not be the right word, but drama in terms of storytelling.
Yeah.
They did a good job of making you have trouble trusting
Anyone.
I still don't know if I trust anyone, right?
Yeah.
Except for Tom. We trust Tom.
I don't trust you guys right now. Like,
You know what? Fuck you, Dave. Yeah, good call. Thank you.
You shouldn't trust us. I had fun with this movie too. It is dumb. It's a dumb movie. Like I have to
God, I
be
choked on
serious,
my
but
beer.
like,
You
but like
bastard.
it's really, it's really fun dumb. It really is. Like there are some things, and again, they set it up very early on. And not only did they set it up very early on, they did it in the simplest way possible. That almost makes you just ask every other filmmaker, like, why are you so obsessed with openings and closings? And I'm sure like in film school, like the whole thing, it's like the opening, you open Casino Royale with Daniel Craig and it sets up the whole movie. And you know what? You're right. In this, they just do the Deadpool thing and they open it up with the set piece that's going to come back later. But you at least know, like, this is what you're in for. And this is what's coming up later. Like, this is how we got here. They go to the flashback with the fucking kid from...
The thing I do
and it was
love, though,
great.
when you
It was
get
great.
back to that, there's more.
I like that. I like
You
that a
get
lot
the
too.
other half of that scene as well.
And they sped through it and you saw a different
We'll forgive the
perspective.
fact
You saw-
that he
you
was
saw a
never
diff-
actually blacked out. We'll forgive that. Keep going.
Oh yes, they didn't black him out.
Right.
The second time, he didn't wake up and be like, "Oh my god,
Who
my ring
cares?
is flying in the air."
Who
But
fucking
again,
cares?
Wait, I do have one question though, and I'm actually serious. I'm actually genuinely serious. I'm very curious about this question. Was Mark Wahlberg?
Jesus. Didn't even get the
Guys.
question out.
I didn't get the question out.
Don't be serious.
That was
about
a
this.
preemptive
Genuinely
buzz.
curious.
What
No,
was
I'm
the
genuinely
answer?
curious.
Just know we have a whole bag of buzz with your name on it.
Was Mark Wahlberg off book?
No, you deserve that.
He wanted it matter of fact, Jeff. He wanted those lines to come out
No, I'm not even
just like that.
I
I'm
feel
not
like
gonna-
he had fun.
I'm not gonna.
I do too. I
I'm
kind
not
of
gonna
liked
hate,
that
I'm
take.
not hating. I'm not hating on him, but there were definitely some times where he was like, "I'm just gonna say this line with feeling." You
or
know what I mean?
or not too much feeling. Honestly, I felt that
No,
that
but
was
I mean-
part
I mean-
of his.
He just like he didn't take it too seriously, and I think that it worked out for this movie. I do think it worked out, but there were
thing-
some times
I mean-
where they were having dialogue, and he wasn't even trying to like play anything. I really did. He was just kind of like, I'm gonna say this line because my character is kind of full of shit anyway, so he'd probably just like. Bleh.
I think the
There was
thing
All right,
that
there's the,
I want to touch on like quickly is that like Tom Holland kind of broke his typecasting because everyone was like, "Can Tom Holland do anything but Spider-Man?" I made a joke earlier.
He can twist bottles around and be a
but
bartender.
like
It's great.
he dropped his voice.
Really
he
impressive.
like he acted slightly.
voice work
Like,
was great.
it was an individual character, except when he got excited. And then
Can't help
like the
himself.
Spider-Man, like Peter
just
Parker voice
starts
came through.
dancing.
So apparently Spider-Man is always excited, which is a daring choice when you're wearing spandex.
Look, let's give Tom
That
Holland.
deserves that.
Come on, fuck you. Let's give Tom Holland a pass on all that because
It's great.
whenever you were
Yeah, it was great.
discovered inside a franchise, like I know he had done some work before, but whenever you were like really exploded onto the scene inside a franchise, they're not casting you because of your range. They're casting you because you are fucking Peter Parker, right?
Well,
So like
this went
he's,
through.
he's going to kind of be avoiding that for the rest of his life because that's probably very close to
I
who
think
he
this
is.
went
I bet he
through
wasn't
two.
like.
This went through 2 directors and 2 stars before they got to Tom Holland. I think.
Do you have any idea who the other people were?
No, I can't remember who they were, but I know they had a lot of cast
Just be
changes
curious.
leading up to this. I'm
That's
sure Jeff is
surprising.
looking it up as we speak, but there were previous
But
casts,
I should.
like previous casting for this.
Interesting. I'd be curious to find out who.
Hmm.
Because look, I mean, yeah, we'll get to it later. Jeff, let's not forget because I do want to bring up the Mark thing because I did have a Mark Wahlberg. I did have a specific question for you guys about the drama of what I thought was supposed to be a very intense moment in the film, kind of a midpoint where our protagonist Tom Holland realizes something. It was not played that way by his scene partner, and we'll get there a little bit later. We'll talk about that.
I just before we move on to like spoiler territory though, I do want to shout out Sophia Ali, who played Chloe in this.
New Zealand or Australian? Where is she from?
She's from California.
Shut the fuck up.
I had to look that up. And the reason she was doing that accent is because in the video game, Claudia Black, who's an Australian, voiced that character. So she learned to do an Australian accent. She drifted into Kiwi once or twice.
How was it? How was it?
9
Yeah.
out of 10, man. She gets a fucking A.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for
Like,
her. Wow, good
I
for
was
her.
like, is she a little bit British? Now she's doing Australian. That drifted a little Kiwi. But if you look at like Claudia Black's work, she kind of does the same thing. She successfully mimicked the original voice actor who played this character in the game. So I'm on board with this. Like, she can come back anytime.
I want to give it up too, because I think one thing that they did do pretty well, they tiptoed to the edge for me. So I'm going to almost criticize it, but they did not. They still, I think, succeeded. I don't think adventure films, I think my favorite adventure films, we should only be learning about characters through how they deal with the adventure, how they deal with the obstacles in the adventure, whether that's fighting or solving a problem or something like that, how resourceful they are or lack of being resourceful, or if they have a secret like skill or something. There were maybe 2 or 3 moments where these characters were in a room talking to each other and learning about each other. They almost lost me a little bit in some of those moments, but then we caught back up. And then like something would happen where the story would catch in and the adventure would take over. There's a moment, I'm not going to spoil anything huge, but there's a moment when her and Tom, I'm going to be as cryptic as I can, are alone, and they're in they're not on the adventure, but they're trying to figure out the next step. And there was a little bit of them kind of just talking to each other about his past and a little bit of her past. And I was like, please stop doing this. And then they stopped doing it, and they moved on with the puzzle. I do think that they were very aware of that, which I appreciated, because
it's like, we're going to give this character 1.5 dimensions just to give you that.
Honestly, no, I mean, that's kind of what you want, though. You kind of only, I mean, do you guys disagree? I love looking at characters in adventure movies spot on. Only through the gaze of their action. Like what they do is how I'm going to feel about them.
Movies, 100%.
This was a very well-paced film, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I think that it was
stunts,
really
man. Stunts.
Yeah, let's talk about them, dude. What'd you think about that fight? My girlfriend made a comment when we were on our way back. She was like, stunts were so much fun. She was like, I was starting to notice and think about the fact how creatively they got rid of guns.
Yeah,
and it turned into fighting.
And
it
also,
made me think like that's another key element of adventure films, right? You're trying not to. That's why the Indiana Jones moment where he does shoot the guy is so funny, because it shouldn't be about guns. It's not an action film. It's an adventure movie.
Which is funny because that happened because Harrison Ford was sick as a dog.
Right.
That's the only reason that happened.
But I thought they did do a good job of that. A whole bunch of very creative ways to get them fighting with weird weapons and in weird scenarios where they're just like dueling it out with their hands.
Even earlier, like Tom Holland doing fucking parkour when the chase scenes happening. That was cool. That was really Sophia Ali. Like that was amazing. And she held her own in that scene too.
She was great. They filmed this right on the heels of No Way Home. So he filmed that and then went.
I mean, Tom Holland has pretty much cemented that he can never not go to the gym again. Popeye's Chicken is not for you, Tom. It's never happening.
Tom, give me a call. We're gonna win your Oscar. I'm gonna ugly you up, bro. It's gonna get gross.
Before we send everybody away, there are a lot of what ifs with this, because David O. Russell was linked to play this and got De Niro and Pesci interested in playing his father and uncle. Tom Holland's father and uncle, who I don't even think appear in this at all. They wanted Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg to... Is it Evan Goldberg? Did I say that right? They wanted them to write a script, and they turned it down. Nathan Fillion was attached. Neil Berger was attached.
Nathan Fillion was a fan favorite at one point, but...
Yeah,
he would have been good in Mark's role.
If it wasn't an origin story, it would have been perfect for Nathan Drake, because he looks exactly like him.
Zachary Levi wanted to do this, and he probably was too old. And then anybody, you name it, they consider, because I think Wahlberg was attached and then dropped out to film something else, and then he got back in when scheduling changed. But I mean, everybody, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, just like a sea of people were interested.
Yeah, this thing's been in development hell for quite some time.
Yeah, I think 2014. It's been, well, no, that's when the games came out. It's pretty much right away.
I was a little surprised. I guess surprised isn't the answer, because he is such a gigantic movie star because of Spider-Man. But I was a little curious from a casting perspective, and it gives me some clarity that you guys have just said that. It probably would have been a little bit more powerful for me if he seemed a little bit older, if he was closer to around 30, like a really grown man. Okay. Who's still young enough to he has years of franchise sequels ahead of him, but that he's at the beginning of his manhood, as opposed to this. I mean, whether Tom likes it or not, it's not. He's a great actor, but he always reads early 20s to me.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, it's going to be great to age through this with him because there will be more. Like they're not going to let this go. Like
Yeah,
PlayStation
for sure.
Studios
There's an
is going
after
to throw
credit scene and
money
it
at
did well. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
And you know what? Maybe fuck me, because the
Two
one
after
thing that
credit
did
scenes.
work because of this
Well, one.
Okay.
Yeah, one.
that I thought go ahead and buzz me if
there
you
were
want.
two.
The thing that I really enjoyed about the way they justified him being younger was that there was no lack of momentum for him we didn't have to see the scene where he was like, "Oh, I don't care about that anymore. My brother's gone and I gave that up. I'm a grown
Yeah.
adult now. I don't do that." We just got to ride right. We didn't need any of that drama. We just went right into him believing all of it.
There was the brother. Well, let's just send people away. So we liked this movie. It was really fucking fun. Go see it in IMAX
It's
or Dolby
fucking
Digital.
fun, yeah.
Immediately, because the Batman.
Do you think Mark and Matt fucking hated this movie? Do you think they fucking hated it? Guys, I'm curious if you guys fucking hated it. It was too easy.
We'll find out. We'll find out soon, I'm sure.
I love you both.
Probably
So
tomorrow.
if you're listening to this, hopefully right when we release it, go watch this because you know the Batman is going to take over all these theaters. You know the Batman's.
Oh
taking all
Jesus,
of them.
yeah. Go
So
see it.
You have
And,
like 10 days to go watch this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if you want a big format, because that thing's going to be fucking gone
It
in
is
just a few
fucking
days.
awesome
Yeah,
in IMAX, I can tell you that.
It was great in Dolby
Nice.
Digital.
Stupid
It was
good
really,
fun.
Really fun.
I might go see it again in one of those big ones just for fun.
Get out. Get out. Okay, so
Get out of here.
We are in spoiler territory.
It was fun. The movie was kind of dumb, but really, really fun at the same time, and I really appreciated it. That it was self-aware. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I
If
thought
you're
I was
looking
gonna
for
remember what I
drama,
was saying.
you're not going to like this. Like
Yeah.
it is absolutely in one of those.
It's great to watch it like a video game because, for instance, the boat things at the end. I know we're getting ahead, but I'll just keep it a little vague in case our spoiler people are still cutting the grass. Dad, you didn't see this movie. We know you didn't see this movie. Just turn this off. The boats in the air is ridiculous. It's stupid, but it's stupid, good fun. But
Still,
then you know these boats are worth billions of dollars, and they're just fucking tearing them to
Smashing
shreds.
to bits. I love the fact they actually had a
rather than
pirate
dock
ship
the
fight,
one
though.
boat and then go find them. They're like, no. We're in the end of this movie. We got to
Yeah.
make sure these two fire. It's
We're
like,
gonna have an
dock
actual-
the one boat. You can retire forever with the one boat. You don't need to go get
we're
the
gonna have an
second
actual
boat.
pirate ship fight in midair.
The
And
only thing that
Now,
can
I will
do
say
it-
this.
They
is
still
that the-
sold it better than the moon scraping Manhattan. I'm sorry. Fuck.
Correct.
Just-
Correct. 100% correct.
I will throw out this critique, and this is just for me aesthetically. This was I had to tighten the size of my. All right, this is a video game baseball cap. So, like I was saying at the beginning, just because we've talked about this before, I struggle sometimes with let's just CGI as much as we possibly can in terms of some effects that are just physically not filmable. And there were a lot of moments where like a human moved in a way that they just can't move. We did not establish superpowers.
I saw
So
one
you
of
have to
those.
kinda-
I saw one of those.
I
I'll
saw
back you up on
several
that.
of those, right?
Yeah.
I saw one of those, but by the time we got to the flying ships, I was on board with the flying ships.
Yeah,
there's the
because
flying
we just
ships
wanted
and
to-
shit like
we
that
wanted
too.
to
But
see
there,
the flying
there
ships.
So
were,
you just
there
have
were
to-
one or two moments where you're right. There were times
You do
where
have to
it's
go
like,
for that.
a
So
human
there were a
don't move
little,
like
there
that.
was a little bit of that, and I've never been somebody who feels like, oh, we got to take adventure films to the next level. This is getting boring. I love those movies. I feel like they still work. So if you struggle with that aesthetically, you might also struggle with it a little bit. It is part of this new video game transformation world that is happening with these kinds of stories.
I mean,
and just get over it.
But
You just got to
also,
get on board.
to be
with
honest, from a standpoint, they may have actually filmed that using the actor. And by the time they got it into editing, they realized it didn't work and had to digitally replace him. So, but by that point,
I
the
have a
budget's
feeling they
running
did a
thin.
lot of reshoots
So they
and
had to go
stuff, yeah.
they had to go to like a cheaper effects house. That
it.
happens.
They may have. There were also some fun moments that if this is really nitpicky, if I was Ruben's buddy and he was letting me see an early screening where I knew they
Yeah.
could still tweak a few things, I would maybe say to him, I think you have a couple opportunities, more than a couple, dude, where like something just gets solved. Like, let me just give you an example from the very beginning where Tom Holland is clearly several boxes back when he's climbing up into the airplane, and then he just appears behind the guy. And like, there are so many moments like that in the movie where you're just like, we don't
So
see them
hard.
solve the problem.
So
it just
hard,
gets
yeah.
solved. And I thought that there may be some fun moments with the score or something where they could kind of like celebrate the ridiculousness of that.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. It just kind of
yeah.
stayed like, this is the reality of this world. I would have wanted a little bit more tongue in cheek with that, but I still had a great time. I still had a great time.
I also love one of the things I loved was like when they get to the point because he's just wearing a shirt the whole way through this thing, and the look of the
Yeah,
game
for-
character has the gun belts. And when he
I knew it, dude. I knew it. I didn't
when
know
he
that. But when he put that on, I was
finally
like,
gets that on, you get like half a second of a moment. They almost fanfare it, and then they just move on. But it's like that was a little bit of like video game service, and then no, that's not what we're about here. Let's get into the fight. But it was definitely a moment, and I like that. There's also a really good cameo that I loved where they came out of the beach. You're probably wondering what the fuck that scene was about.
who is that guy?
It's Nathan.
Who is that?
It's Nathan North. He's the voice and mocap actor who played that character in the video games for the last 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I had a very strong feeling
they wanted
they
him
were homaging somebody, but
everyone's like, get him to do the role, and he was like, "Are you kidding? I'm fucking 51. I'm not doing that." Like,
and I'm rich.
Yeah.
I don't need to do this shit. I'm fucking.
I hope
games.
he is.
There's money in these.
The guy who played, I was in Red Dead. The guy who played, there were two dudes who played the main Red Dead character. Those guys worked for like 7 solid years on those characters. Like they got fucking paid by the end of that
they get
show.
paid. Those are $100 million per. Like. Not the actor, but the video games can be. It's $1 billion industry. But so like each individual game is several $100 million, if not $1 billion.
Yeah,
so
to make it, and then they make
the video game industry.
Your agents, if you're on version 2 or 3, you're making money.
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
video game industry earns more than the film industry, the NFL, and the NBA combined.
Isn't that crazy?
God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
That's,
Good for
him.
Hopefully, he has a very nice.
I still have never really gotten into it. Okay, let's talk about it because I just want to bring it up. I just want to bring it up because Jeff, you said it. I remember being very aware in the theater where you're waiting for this scene to take place where Tom Holland's older brother has disappeared. We knew all the things, and we know that Marky Mark is somehow fucking involved with that disappearance. We're waiting the whole half of the movie to get clarification. We get to the midpoint of this film, and Tom finally realizes, oh my God, Mark was totally involved and he hasn't told me the truth. And they have this scene where Tom is like trying to say, stop lying to me. Just be honest with me. What happened? I can't believe you brought me here when you knew that my brother, I was never going to see him again. You lied to me. And Mark plays it like, yeah, so what? Yeah, fucking lied to you. Yeah.
That's pretty fun. Yeah, that's good.
And I thought it was still intriguing that he was challenging Tom Holland's character to realize that like that is the game. I'm never going to be emotional about any
I
of
lied.
this.
And also,
guys,
I think that was
do you have the answer, by the way?
It was no. It was leading up to his.
No, I thought that was good in the script. That he was like, and do you have any information? Like in the same sentence, in the same
literally,
breath.
he's an obsessed sociopath almost, and so that like was a growing point for him to throw the gold away at the end.
Actually, but to that, wait, I'm gonna push.
Also,
sorry,
maybe the cat helped him. I don't know. Because that was my favorite.
Mr. Whiskers.
The two cat gags in that movie are my favorite things in that whole movie.
Okay, I want to buzz you.
Dave's a cat lover.
Buzzer. Where the fuck's
Dave's
my buzzer?
a cat lover.
No, I'm buzzing you for that because
where's Diamond the cat?
Yeah, the cat thing was the best part, and then they didn't go full cat. They half-assed the cat. They half-assed the cat gag. They get the cat. They're like, oh, the cat's for you. We all knew that it was going to be some dumb joke like that. It's cat's for him. And then we see the cat once. And then later he's like, the person feeding the cat. Like I need more cat. If you're going to introduce a cat, you show me some fucking
I definitely don't. I did not need more cat.
Give me more cat.
I did not need more cat.
The after credit scene when he's late rescuing him because he couldn't get his cat through customs. He's like, you bought the fucking cat?
Yeah. I watched it because I was helping my friend find his phone.
I liked the app joke. I liked the app joke better than the ending one.
Yeah.
There were a couple little. I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but there were a couple little like
3
add-ons
cat
at the
moments.
end, like Tom Holland's like is chugging wine for no reason, and then they're like, "What are you on spring break?" And then the scene ends. It was like they kind of fleshed together. It wasn't a fantastic movie, but it was a really fucking.
By the way,
movie.
that scene was one of the lulls for me, where I was like, "Uh oh, 3 people are talking to each other about their past. I kind of want to get out of here as soon as possible."
Yeah, right. I think that was meant to be like that.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Chug some red wine. Let's move on."
They can't hold you here all the time, otherwise you get emotionally tired.
Right.
They have to bring you down to bring you back up.
You know what it made me think of too, just so people, anyone who has fun thinking about the difference between genres. We are a film podcast. I'm going to nerd out for a second. I think one of my favorites, just to give you a total comparison between like a drama and an adventure film. I think one of the best scenes in Munich is when they're in their lull moment in their safe house. And Eric Bana has that character with the man from the Palestinian, and they end up, it's this amazing thing that is in the context of this kind of boring sequence where they're just holed up at a safe house overnight. And it's a really dramatic moment where you learn a lot about characters. Doesn't work in these kind of adventure movies. You're like, oh, come on, start bantering with each other again about how you're going to solve your next problem. That's going to tell me everything I need to know. So when Marky Mark finally fucking went to sleep and they were kind of like talking to each other.
Did you say Eric Bana?
Yeah, in Munich.
Yeah, I was talking about Munich.
Oh, in Munich. Oh,
do you remember,
so sorry.
you remember that great scene in the stairwell?
Yes.
I was just saying, in these kinds of adventure movies,
it's not a bad scene in Munich, to be honest.
That's a good movie. I like that movie a lot too.
It's
But
so
it just kind of made me, I just couldn't help but start to like think about like, why was this working now and why didn't it work there? And this scene and the scene when they're in the hotel together in the amazing Philippines bungalow where they're staying. They always have money in these movies, which is always fun.
Those Philippine bungalows, those bungalows are not expensive.
There was a moment in there where they were talking to each other where I was like, uh-oh. And then they immediately started looking at the postcards and I was like, thank God. All right, we're back on track.
Back to the puzzle
we're
solving.
We're going to start.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that was effective. The deception at the end of that scene where he left her the wrong coordinates was fun.
Yeah.
Dave, you hit the nail on the head, dude. The most interesting thing dramaturgically they did was every opportunity they had to make us not trust anyone except for Tom, they took advantage of, which was fun because I still don't know if we're supposed to even trust Mark at the end of this. And I think she's going to come back and they're going to keep working together. They're just never going to trust each other.
Yeah, she'll definitely be back for
that
the
was
sequel.
really that was really enjoyable.
In the video game, she wasn't introduced until I think Uncharted 2. So
here we go. Ready? I'm going to go big picture with it. Uncharted's thematic deconstruction of our issues with trust in the American politic was really spot on. They're proving to us that we can work together to solve problems. Okay.
Gosh.
Justin passed him at the same time. First time
Is that the first time that has ever happened? That was the first time. I'm going to take that fucking credit. This is a highbrow movie, trying to hide itself. Sheep's Clothing is a dumb adventure movie, but you know what? No, I'm kidding. I had a really fun time, and I thought that was really
about
effective.
Transference. Like really.
What did you guys think of what's her name, the villain?
She's great. She was really
Tati Gabrielle.
She was great. Like,
what do you think about her character? Do you feel like they gave us enough to believe that character could have transcended being hired by Antonio and having the past with Sully?
I feel like they could have reasoned that. For a Bond movie, no, but for this kind of movie, yes.
I feel like she didn't transcend that until she realized he'd hired someone else, and it became like a scorned sort of thing. It was like.
But
you
she had a
don't
team.
Trust me, so
she had a team. She could beat customs because, like, clearly,
you
can
can organize a team in 24 hours. They didn't get that plane for 2 scenes.
Because I know that happens in all these movies where there's all these people that like work for people who just like can die and they're like giving their life or money essentially to work for the Bond villain or whatever. But like, it was good. It was reassuring that Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland were pretty well aware that they were not smuggling $6 billion worth of golden ships out of that fucking island. And they were like, even Mark Wahlberg is like, you know what? They belong to the Philippines now. Here's a block of gold. Great. Like, even though that was a little anticlimactic, at least they were aware of that. And I think that was probably the right approach. And it makes you think, let's all celebrate the little things. You know what I mean? Even though the fact that $5 billion worth of gold and 2 iconic legendary ships are now at the bottom of the ocean because of you fuck ups and because of that weird ass like battle that you had.
Did this movie make you guys want to chew bubble gum?
Yeah, what was up with all the bubble gum?
No.
Is that a thing in the video game, Dave? Is that a theme?
I don't think so.
He's not always. I thought he was always smacking on gum or something in the video game.
Just smacking on.
When
gum.
they like Mortal Kombat when they go like this, I thought maybe he was whenever he sits still, he's just like putting gum in his mouth and like chomping on chewing gum or something.
How did they get the boats in the cave where they had to literally blast down?
See, that's actually not. I don't think that's that unbelievable because I think that they have. I feel like there are actually like examples of that in pirate lore where they blast the close of the cave.
And then it closes. Okay, cool. I got you.
It seals it up.
Just curious.
Yeah,
but I know what you mean.
They built a paper mache mountain around the ships.
I like the way they paper mache. Cool. I like the way they left the roof open, so to speak, but they had trees covering it so that you wouldn't see it from the shop. But like it looked really great.
Those trees,
and we'll forgive the fact that the opening to that cave from the ocean.
Yeah, climate
There's
change.
no way someone had not gone in there to explore that cave in 500 fucking years.
Dude,
there's no fucking way anybody.
I'm pretty close to a resort. It was pretty close to a resort.
My hometown in Australia has ravines in the mountains that nobody's seen the bottom of.
Fair enough.
So those exist.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have any Floyd Collins motherfuckers that
No.
are trying to get down there?
Floyd
Just like,
Collins.
Well, we wouldn't know because that
motherfuckers
motherfucker didn't come back. So,
Oh, Floyd.
Hey, he's
Floyd.
I
Dave,
can see you suffer.
Dave, he's still there. He's still there.
Oh, he is still
He's
there.
still hanging out.
His bones are probably
Yeah.
still there. Floyd,
You'll see
you
him.
know what?
You'll see him in Morbius.
Pour one out for Floyd
Yeah.
Collins, you guys.
Let's pour one out. Not on Dave's laptop because that almost fucked up our show before.
Yeah, fun. I also, of course, this is another ingredient of adventure movies, but man, it would have been fun to film all over the fucking world. What a joy they must have had,
They
like
must have
going to all
actually
these
filmed
fun
in
exotic
Barcelona and
places.
Philippines and stuff,
The
right?
Barcelona's all that coverage in Barcelona was really, really gorgeous. And I think the thing that I thought was so refreshing about this movie, that even though, it is kind of dumb, and you just gotta have fun.
The cross thing was a little ridiculous.
Nobody
right?
thought it was dumb when they were acting. Everybody was
No, they did it great.
had both feet on
I
the
mean, that
ground.
counts.
They were trying. They were working.
That's what sells it.
It is a little weird that they like went underground and they found this magical church thing, and then it just led them to a nightclub that had a giant grate that very easily somebody who was cleaning that grate could have noticed that it led it to. So
I don't
there
know
were,
if
like, things like that.
those
but
European cities,
I know,
dude. Those
I
European
know.
cities, they fucking look like that, dude. Like there's shit.
And also, if
it's
you're a
all fucking
bartender, you're cleaning the
historical.
glasses. You just want to fucking go home. You're not paying attention to the decor.
I'll just argue that this is. You said like I'm gonna rewatch this movie. I think this is a good just watch it one time and move on kind of movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because then those I don't know, those little things might start. Why is he chugging wine for no reason? Like the little things might start.
Hey, Dave, watch this.
Oh.
Jeff, go fuck you. You're never gonna watch this again? One and done? Really? You don't like?
that's
Oh, I'm
two
sorry. I'm
buzzers.
trying to take it off.
There's so much to watch.
Jeff, I thought you were more. I know what you mean. This is not a puzzle movie in the same sense, but I thought you and I both really enjoyed the National Treasure movies, and
I know National Treasure is a little crazy with like there's a lot of speaking and a lot of explaining. I think it covered its ground a little better than this movie, but I still had fun in this movie. I just think this movie was made for younger kids than the National Treasure movie was made for.
how about the Da Vinci Codes? More puzzle than adventure.
I like the
You're
first.
more of a puzzle
don't use
movie.
I like the
plural.
first Da
There's only
Vinci
one
Code,
good
but
movie.
I like the first Da Vinci Code generally. I really don't like the way it ends. And that's exactly what's in the book where he goes to Paris and then he kneels down and it's like, ugh, really all this for that? But like it's
Hans Zimmer's Cavalier
No,
de Sangreal
it was-
plays over that sequence, and it's so good.
it was I do like the puzzle movies like that. But National Treasure is really great. And this is good too, but this is just fun in a different way. This is fun like I'm watching.
You know
a
what?
video
This
game.
made me think. Let's play a fun little minute game here. When was the last time they made a real like shameless adventure movie like this?
I think National Treasure
I know
was the
Jungle
last
Cruise came
time,
out
yeah.
earlier this week, and we didn't
Jungle
really.
Cruise,
or
and I
last
saw the
year.
trailer too many times. I didn't need to
Yeah,
see
we
the
didn't
movie.
see that.
no,
But
I
like, I was
saw
trying
it.
to think of the last.
I saw it. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
kind
you
of
did.
fun. Yeah.
Oh, there you
Remember,
go.
I saw part of it through the airplane seats.
Yeah.
Remember, I was
Yes,
watching a
that's
little
right.
bit.
It was kind of fun.
But I was trying to think like the last time they made like a true adventure movie. Those are a little bit more puzzle movies. I think I agree with you on that. And I was having trouble thinking of, exploration, buried treasure. I was having trouble thinking about that kind of stuff since Indiana Jones.
And I mean,
don't
they
know.
even threw in an Indiana Jones reference. So, like, they were
They
very
did
quite
throw in the
self-aware at
Indiana
that
Jones
point.
reference. Yeah.
Which was the reference?
He asked her, when did you become
Mark
Indiana
Wahlberg says
Jones?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you? Oh, literally, when he said, "When did you
Yeah.
become Indiana Jones?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
It was when they
I thought it was-
shouted
I was
the
like-
words Indiana Jones.
I thought there was
into
another
the
one.
microphone.
Yeah, I caught that reference. It's a liberal use of the word reference when they actually say the
Yeah.
word Indiana
Yeah,
Jones.
it's like I probably missed it because
alright.
it was so fucking subtle. I don't know. Yeah.
So Jeff's never going to watch this movie again because he has a heart of pure ice.
I like
just
the
cold
movie.
and
Get the
dark
fuck
in the
out of here. I
center.
like the movie.
He's never going to see it again. He says he said he had fun in the theater.
I did.
How's that legal pad? Was it full of with pros?
I didn't
and
take a single note because I was with a friend, and that would be weird if I was just
That would be
I
weird.
was writing in my crotch.
Jeff, it's always weird. Friends or no friends, if you're in there turning pages on the yellow legal pad
Yeah.
in the middle of a movie, always weird, bro.
They're like, does he
Yeah.
work for the New York Times? Do we spit on him?
Yeah, I worked for the New York
Yeah.
Times. That's why I'm going after the movie came out.
I think we had a good time. I
Yeah.
think everyone
I had
knows
a
they should go
great
see it.
time. And I had stupid good fun. I would recommend this to anyone. Just sit
think
back and
everybody-
enjoy the ride. We haven't
it.
seen a ride like this in quite some time.
That's what she said. Let's go, people. Go see this movie, Uncharted. We're going to finish up our episode like we always do with a quick round of what you've been watching. People, let's do it. Dave, any recommendations for the folks of anything you've been watching?
I have a documentary.
What?
Yeah. I watched the Never Give Up, Never Surrender Galaxy Quest documentary. Oh my God. If you want warm fuzzies, this is the documentary to watch.
I want warm fuzzies.
They made a documentary about Galaxy
They made
Quest?
it for the 20th anniversary, yeah. It was crowdfunded and it's now on Amazon, and it's amazing. It has like Will Wheaton and all the cast, and Brent Spiner from Star Trek is on there as well. Will Wheaton's also from Star Trek, but you get it.
Yes,
But yeah, it's great. It's very heartfelt. It appreciates the fandom. It goes through. I learned a couple of things I didn't know about this movie when it was being made. So yeah, good watch.
No shit. There you go. You heard it here first, people.
I watched the Olympics. Am I the only American who can say that?
Did you watch the figure skating on Thursday with the children crying with teddy bears and shit? It was high drama.
No, I missed it.
Oh, it was the best
Damn
part
it.
of the Olympics, and I only watched it, so that's how I know.
Jesus.
I watched a good amount of it, though. I would say I tuned in for probably a collective 6 or 7 hours over the past week or so. Just in the evenings, I was trying to catch as many highlights as I could. It's kind of hard when they're across the world. You're just getting this limited coverage, but I still love the Olympics. I'm not saying I'm pro the country that's hosting it, but I still, I enjoy the camaraderie of watching countries compete against each other and watch these
if you make
fucking freaks.
if you make a movie someday, you want it to be able to be released there, unlike Brad Pitt. So you got to watch yourself.
Yeah, they'll go back through your back catalog, dude.
So.
Yep.
I guess so. I don't know. I might pull a 7 years in Tibet and just never be allowed to have a movie come out there.
Whoa.
Just for the sake of him ever being able to stop buzzing me, man, dude.
Yeah, but the people at home don't know that.
The YouTube viewers do.
All right, what have I been watching?
There goes our Chinese market.
Good job, John. I will say that the Russian figure skater who fell, and then the person who came in second who wanted to win, screaming, "I hate this sport," and then the girl who won was crying with the teddy bear because nobody wanted to say congratulations to her. It was high drama. I highly recommend. And meanwhile, the announcers are sitting there going, "She should have never competed. They should have shielded her from this as a stain on the
essentially,
sport."
you're watching
it was high
poor,
drama.
overstressed teenagers losing their shit.
Yeah.
It's like reality TV.
That Russian
She
coach,
should not have been able to compete.
The Russian,
absolutely.
Yeah, let's keep
the
going.
Russian coach is a nightmare, and I can't believe she's allowed to do what she does.
One of the most not shocking sentences that's ever been spoken.
It's the coach.
Yeah, no.
The Russian coach is a nightmare.
No, I read that and I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah,
We're really getting a lot of good content for Russian American espionage movies right now. So yeah, good stuff. Okay, so I finally started Euphoria from season 1, and I really liked it. But I'll tune back when I get to season 2. It's more relevant, but it's great. And then
I still haven't finished season 1, but it is really good.
The Tinder Swindler.
Yes.
I was like putting it off because it was like the title's ridiculous. What is it about? And sometimes you just need one of those docu mysteries.
What is that?
It's the Tiger King of 2022.
The Tinder Swindler.
A guy on Tinder was meeting girls, and it turns out he was probably conning them, and he was a total
robbing
fraud.
the shit out of them, basically.
And we're talking robbing people for hundreds of thousands of dollars, like multiple people at the same time, to pay for a ridiculous, lavish lifestyle. Like, it's really wild. I'm going to leave it there because I
taking
basic Tinder. In other words, yeah.
I don't want to say anymore. Just know that this person was living like a diamond billionaire, and he actually was a worthless piece of shit who was literally just conning people, and it was fucking crazy. It was really wild.
All right, it'll be a movie.
Yeah.
If you think it's too long, all those people at home, they were like, "Oh, The Irishman's too long." Part A, Part B. There's a very clear dividing line of when it turns into Part B. When they go to the journalists, that's Part B. Go ahead, watch it in 2 nights if you need, but it is fantastic. I highly recommend it. That's
cool.
It.
Nice, dude.
All right, people, thank you so much for joining our episode about Uncharted. We'll see you for something next week. Batman in 2 weeks. Can't wait to see what we do next week, guys. Good seeing you. Film fans, see you next time. Nice. Tell Lily we say hi.